This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We promised you we're going to talk a little Miami Dolphins with my man Habib from the Palm Beach Post. And as always, what was that? Oh, okay, you're crossing your fingers. All right, let's get to it.
We had a little bit of a difficulty, remember, last time at Caneswear.
No, I got you. Gunner Hal on Twitter. Hal, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good. How are you, Big O?
I can't complain, my friend. I'm loving life, enjoying what's going on with the Dolphins. I was just talking about this, Hal, before you came on. If somebody told you after they tore it all down last year, before the season started, don't worry about it. Next year, they'll be on pace to win 10 games and a shot at the playoffs. What would you have told that person?
I would not have believed it, and that's exactly why, Big O, that I find it hard to imagine a scenario over these final 3 weeks that could play out where at the end of it, we're all saying, oh, that was a big disappointment. I don't think that that's really going to – it would be hard for that scenario to play out right now. I think that regardless of what logical happenings occur, I think Dolphin fans should come out of this feeling very good about 2020.
Yeah, I'm leading the charge there. I've been the guy that's been very unhappy with this team for 2 decades now because they kept doing things that were just incredibly stupid. And now I'm impressed every time because they do all the things pretty much that are logical, that make football sense. And I think that's why this whole thing has fast-tracked the way it has, because you've made great decisions with your cap, great decisions with free agency, great decisions with street free agents, great decisions with the draft. I mean, that's the thing about this team now. You know, how you start to look at it, all we ever did was question one thing or another. Now you look at it and you go, damn, this makes a lot of sense.
Well, there's one other thing that you didn't list in there because I think it's probably understood and maybe a given at this point, but it can't be overlooked because it's a big credit to the organization. And that is, hey, they finally got the right coach.
Yeah.
You know, I said it before the Super Bowl last year. I remember sitting down, maybe my hands were sweaty, I don't know, but I wrote a column saying the Dolphins got this right. And that was before they shut down the Rams in the Super Bowl. I just had this feeling from a few days around Brian Flores that this was a guy who was really going to do it this time. And, you know, now when he makes decisions, no matter how controversial they may be or whatever, you kind of have this feeling of this guy's got some credit behind him. He's earned the benefit of the doubt. And so you kind of go along with it and see how it plays out. And so far, you know, it's most of it's worked. And yeah, they, you know, in the draft, the best thing they did was they didn't overthink it. You know, Tua is sitting there on the board. Everybody has clamored for this guy for a year. And yeah, turn in the card. Let's get this done. And so that was a big first step, and things have fallen into place since then. Some of the other guys they picked up have done well, and now there's a foundation. And when you look at next spring in the draft, there are some pieces they need to fill in, and finally we've got confidence that they're going to focus on that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's been the amazing part about this run is how competent it feels now when they're making decisions. How, when you look at this game, this is a great opportunity for the Dolphins to send a message. Last year, the Patriots got the best of them in the first meeting, but by the second meeting, the Dolphins were the better team. They were playing better at that time. They went 5-4 in those last 9 games. Plus, obviously, Flo knows that team well, and they won. This year, Well, they got the better of them in the first game again because their team was kind of in flux with all the new players. Now they're the better team again, playing the better football. I know they got a bunch of injuries and hopefully they get those guys back. But another win late in the season where you knocked them to the wild card round this year, and this year you might, I mean, last year, and this year you might knock them out of the playoffs. This is a great way to send a message that, you know what? You guys are no longer the kings of this division. It's going to be some other people fighting for the lead in this division.
Yeah, and obviously Buffalo is leading the charge this year, but it is interesting that the roles have definitely flip-flopped. Some of the principals involved in this game might not want to acknowledge it, but it's right there for everybody to see. And, you know, I'm sitting here writing a story about that opening game compared to this game. For one thing, I don't know about you, Big O, but it almost seems like it was like last year. So much has gone on, and this season has been just so unique and so crazy that it does seem like ages ago. The Dolphins went into that game not really knowing what to expect of Cam Newton in that offense. And as we saw, the Patriots did run all over the Dolphins. The Dolphins were still finding themselves on defense. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Dolphins can handle that running attack this time. You know, that defense has improved so much over the course of the year that I think it's going to be a different story, especially if New England comes in here thinking that they're going to run for 217 yards again.
How impressed were you with Tua last week after he loses all his weapons? And I would imagine also Andy Reid going for it on fourth down and not punting back to the kid after he's driven the field twice for 2 scores. How impressed were you with Tua?
Yeah, well, that's kind of, Andy Reid is not a gun-shy kind of coach, and that's one reason I like watching his team's games. As far as Tua, yeah, he showed me a lot. I mean, everybody thought when they were down by 20 that the game was over, and he stuck to it. You know, something that Mahomes said after the game really was a credit to Tua, and it rang true. He said, when I was a rookie, if I were down by 20, I'd be trying to run in there and get a 20-point play. And Tua took his time, brought Miami back one play at a time. He did a lot of things right. This is a kid who is, well, he's not a kid, he's seasoned in a lot of ways, having played big games at Alabama. He's mature. And I think all of those things really bode well for the Dolphins. And for him to do it with a cast of receivers that, nobody knew who those guys were at the beginning of the year. It wasn't Preston Williams and Devontae and Jakeem in there. Who would have expected any of that?
Yeah, no, listen, at this point, the rate that this team is improving, it's really incredible to watch the turnaround. Hal Habib, by the way, from the Palm Beach Post, joining us. You can follow him on Twitter. He's a terrific follow at Gunner Hal, as always, and he'll keep you updated on several things that he's always covering with the Palm Beach Post, but he covers a lot of the Dolphins. And so Dolphins getting ready to take on the Patriots at Hard Rock Stadium. I was thinking about this, Hal. They say that Belichick does a great job against rookies, and yes, he does do well against rookie quarterbacks. How much do you consider Tua the same kind of bait for Belichick, or with Flores and company there, do you think it's a little different that Tua may have a little bit more of an edge than other rookies that have had to face Belichick?
Well, it's interesting because there are a couple of sets of stats out there. And I know Armando at the Herald had one set where he looked up things regarding young quarterbacks going against Belichick. I went and did it a slightly different way. I took 11 of the best quarterbacks in the league, and I looked up the first time they went against Belichick's defense, whether it was as a rookie or maybe in some cases second year, third year, whatever. And I looked at how they did, and a couple of things stood out to me. One is that they did better than you would expect. They actually had 18 touchdowns and only 9 interceptions. I think the record was 5-6. You wouldn't have thought it would have been that good. So it's not like this is just an insurmountable chore that Tua has in front of him. Obviously, Flores, knowing Belichick's defense, he ran Belichick's defense. He'll have a good idea on how Tua should approach this. All of those things are in Miami's favor. Of course, Belichick being the coach he is, that's not in Miami's favor. But that's part of the chess match, part of the fun. Overall, I do see Miami coming out on top in this one.
Yeah, I like Miami. Well, now that I hear, a lot of the guys are practicing, I kind of feel better about this matchup because Van Noy and Landon Roberts are needed against the run. You got to get Parker back. And I give Parker a lot of credit. I know he constantly gets banged up, but he's kind of fought through injuries now in the last 2 seasons, something that he really never did in the past. But if they can get those guys back, that'll be huge. But I got to tell you how the fact that Gesicki apparently was catching passes today, I'm floored with that one because it looked to me like he was done for the season the way they were holding his arm walking off the field.
Absolutely. I mean, I was thinking I couldn't write it because I didn't know it. I'm not a doctor, but I certainly thought, hey, this is done. We're 3 games left after this, and I didn't see how he was going to come back. I watched the replay. I saw the impact he had when he landed on that shoulder. I just didn't see any way it was going to work for him. And when they said that he was limited even in a walkthrough yesterday and then, questionable now, we'll see what they say Sunday morning when we get the list of inactives. But for him to even be a possibility right now, it's like, are you kidding me? So, yeah, he's the guy has done so much for this offense. He's just getting better by the week. Credit to him. I don't know. Credit to the training staff, too. I don't know how they're doing it.
I'm with you. Now, it won't be easy, but is the game plan this simple? Just stop the run because Cam can't beat you with his arm. Is that the way you look at it? And is that what Miami has to do on Sunday?
Yeah, I really do look at it that way. I would love to see Miami be able to roll out an effective running game this time. The running backs have been so banged up and stuck on the COVID list and everything. That's one thing that we haven't seen these past several weeks. And that would be something that would be nice to see, take a little bit of heat off of Tua. And then, hey, if Gesicki's out there, if Parker's effective, some of those other things fall into place, we could see the offense doing some pretty good things out there. But like I said, overall, this New England team is certainly not a typical New England team. So that's why I just don't see Miami losing to them.
Follow him on Twitter at Gunner Hal. Hal, thank you as always, my brother, for taking some time and dropping the knowledge. Before I let you go, I see a shepherd in your Twitter feed there, and a golden retriever. Now, are those both your dogs, or is that one current, one past? How is that?
Actually, the shepherd is past, but always in my thoughts.
Of course.
He was just wonderful. I have a 9-month-old golden retriever puppy who's staring at me right now, wondering why I'm not playing with her. And golden retrievers are just awesome. So,
yeah.
You can't go wrong either way.
No, we had ours, sadly, not long enough. We had Pegasus for 8 years, and then he got neck cancer, and we had to put him down, and it was just, devastating. And then we were without a dog for about a year, and then we got on a roll, and we adopted 4. So now we have
4.
Yeah, we have 4 in the house. We have 2 Chihuahuas. We have a Yorkie, and we have a big girl. She's a mix. She's a German Shepherd Terrier Boxer combination, but she's beautiful. It's a really great combo. We adopted her at a place called Paws for You, and so yeah, we got one big one and 3 small ones, and they dominate. So nothing like dogs. And as you have in your byline, you're a dog person, and as you know, dogs are way better than people, my brother.
Yeah, and I can definitely see myself getting another German Shepherd when the time is right. All I can say is, if anyone out there is thinking about it, the greatest Christmas gifts I've ever gotten were dogs.
Yeah.
So if you're still wondering about that shopping list, find a good breeder, a reputable breeder. Make someone really happy for years to come.
Adopt.
It's going to be better than anything you can. Yep.
Okay.
That's it. It'll be better than anything you can find in Best Buy or wherever else.
Oh, there's nothing like. I mean, when I leave here and I get home, and there's 4 dogs going crazy, it's just it's the therapy you get from them every single day. Considering all the craziness we have to deal with every day, it's as therapeutic as it gets. So I'm with you there. So I love the pictures of the dogs, my brother. Thank you for taking some time. You're a stud.
Thank you, Big O. Take care now.
You got it. There you go. Hal Habib from the Palm Beach Post. He's also, it says, a hopeless Arsenal supporter, which that's me too. I'm a hopeless Arsenal supporter also. So we thank him. Thank you, Hal, for